Visiting my channel. So today we're going to be discussing about the data type character and var character. Okay, let me just try to put data type here, or rather data types. Alright, so the first one is character or char or character, this one. Alright, so it holds a fixed length string. So take note of that, fixed length string. It can contain letters, numbers, and special characters. The fixed size is specified in the parentheses here, but you can just use the word char and it will give you 1 byte or 1 character. And it can store up to a max of 255 characters. So you just really need to specify it here under the length. Okay, so you can't go past 255 characters. All right, take note, the char or character is a fixed length string. Now we'll explain that one in a bit. All right, now next, the varch character, varchar, which stands for variable characters. It holds a variable length. Take note, variable length string. Okay, and the same, it can contain letters, numbers, or special characters, just like the char data type or the character data type. The maximum size is specified also in parentheses. Okay, so this one right here. But the difference between the character and the varchar is that this one is actually optional. For the varchar, it's required, or the variable characters, as they call it. All right. And in contrast, the maximum size is 255 for character, and for varchar, it actually depends. Okay. So you have to read up this one as a reference for the limit. So it's a little bit complicated, but there are two things that you need to keep in mind. So note, MySqL table has a maximum row size limit of 65,535 bytes, but you cannot use it because there are other things or factors that affects the actual size. Some portion is eaten up by some other stuff. Okay, which is the next thing right here. The storage requirements of individual columns, constraint, the number of columns that fit within the given maximum row size. So you cannot readily use all of the bytes. Okay, so it will be eaten up by some other factors, like the storage requirements for some data types depend on the factors such as, like I said, this one, storage engine, the storage format, and the character set. When you say storage engine, so again, on the previous video, I explained there are two common types. There's a lot, but there are two common types, which is the DB and the MyISAM tables. All right. So the storage format, so it is the collate. When you create a table, that will be your collate or collation. And of course, your character set or your char set. Example, the UTF-8 and the Latin 1. All right. So those are the factors that gives you the so-called limit of the actual length of the variable character, the varchar data type. All right, so before we jump into the character, let's start by playing around with the length of the varchar, because it's not really straightforward. It's actually just kind of like, I'll call it, it depends. It depends upon these factors right here. So This is the example. So this one, I'm gonna create a table named foo. Okay, just kidding, foo. This is the column name. I just put there v. It's the example that was given by the MySQL right there. Okay, but it's somewhere here. Never mind. So just I'm gonna include this one at the bottom of the description on the video. Don't you worry, okay? But the point here is that the max value is this, but you cannot use the maximum. All right. As you can see, this one is 65,535 bytes, but you can only use 65,532. So it's kind of like short of 3 bytes. All right, let's play around with it. So we got our engine as InnoDB and our character set as Latin 1. I actually also experimented with the collate. It doesn't really matter, but we'll see, okay? All right, now I'm just gonna copy this one and I'm gonna create a table. Boom, there we go. And then we're gonna try to describe the table. All right, as you can see, no issues. All right, now I'm gonna drop that table and I'm gonna, oh, let's drop it first. So drop table foo, there we go. And I'm gonna recreate it. All right. So instead of 65532, I'm gonna add 1 byte. So it becomes 65533. Now let's see what's gonna happen. All right, and boom. See, it's complaining. All right. Okay, so like I said, you cannot utilize. Let me just try to pull up my tool right here. This one. See, you can only go up to this one, minus 3 bytes for some reason. Okay. Now we're gonna try and see if the collation matters. So let's put collate here. So for Latin 1, let me see if I'm not mistaken, it's Latin 1 general underscore CI. Yeah, it does matter. Actually, no. Let me repeat that one. Okay, because I added 1 to it. Hang on. All right. So it's 65532, 65532, and hit enter. See? So the collate doesn't really matter. And I'm gonna describe the table. That's the shorthand. See, it doesn't really matter for that one based on our example. So, all right, at least right now we know that this one, I mean the maximum is dependent on the engine, the character set, and the storage format. Okay, so at least it's up to that. All right. Now, what if you have 2 columns that requires almost like half of this? So let's say I'm gonna pull up some calculator. Okay, we know that if we use this one and this one, we get the max of 65532. So it's just for 1 column. What about if you have 2 rows? So probably we're gonna cut it in half. So let's see, 65532 divided by 2 is equivalent to 32766. All right, so 32766, 32764. Well, intentionally it's 64 because that is the one that's working. If I make it 66, it's not gonna work. Let's try it. 66. Okay. And I'm gonna drop the table foo. There we go. All right, just gonna copy it, and I'm expecting this one to get an error, and kaboom, it did. All right, so again, I'm gonna reduce it down to 6.5. Maybe it will work. All right, now let's see. Kaboom, same thing. So that's why it was 6.4, because I tried it earlier. That is the value that will actually work. All right, so let's see, describe food table. There we go. So again, some of the sizes are actually eaten up by the configuration of, from the back end of things. It's eaten up by the MySQL system. That's why you cannot use the max 65535. All right, so that's per row. So that's why you cut it in half, just to, you know, size up evenly the actual row. But at least that's the maximum characters that you can do. So beyond that, if you have characters probably that is more than this, you go to the next level, which is the data type text. It contains a lot more size than the variable character. Okay, so also I'm gonna change it from an InnoDB. Oh, okay, it will stay the same as an InnoDB, but the character set, I'm gonna use the default, which is the UTF-8, and let's see what will happen. So I'm gonna drop the table foo. There we go. And let's see. All right, this one, I'm just gonna copy it and paste it. There we go. Then I'm gonna describe again. Foo. There we go. So that's the max that it can go. Let's add a 1 byte to it. Okay, so I'm gonna drop the table again. Foo. And I'm gonna recreate the table, but I'm gonna add 1 character or 1 byte to it. So it becomes 12845 now. And kaboom, it doesn't want to accept it. All right, so that's the max, or as far as you can go if your character set is UTF-8. All right, now I'm gonna actually cut it in half. So let me go back to the calculator right now. 21844 divided by 2 is equal to, boom, 10922. All right, so again, this one is not exactly 10922 because some of the bytes are actually eaten up by, or used by the MySQL system. Um, you know, that's why it cannot reach that exact value. So I'm going to reduce it to the workable value. And let's see. And yep, it works. So let's say describe foo. There we go. So that is the actual explanation. All right. So about the total length of the variable characters. So I need you guys to read up on this link. All right. So don't you worry. I'm gonna save it to the description under the video. All right. And then again, if you need many or a larger character, larger than this size is here, okay, do not waste your time. So just use the text data type instead. All right, just a tip. So yeah, that's it. All right, so let me just do a show table here. All right, so I'm gonna drop foo. Okay. All right, so the next one is we're gonna discuss, the character. So earlier I just demoed the length for the varchar. All right, so here we're gonna be creating a table named test. All right, so let's see. Okay, so here we have first column is just to show you guys the default, which is one character, and this one is the max, 255. So we're going to be doing a describe. So as you can see, the default is just one character. This one has 255 characters. All right, and we're gonna actually insert a data just for kicks. Okay. All right, we've just inserted I and then tomatoes. I don't know. Tomatoes seems to be popping in my head, so I put there tomatoes. It doesn't really matter. All right, and then we're gonna do some select. So there we go. So it's saved. Nothing really fancy, okay? But you'll see later that there is actually a difference between var and varchar. All right, so I'm gonna drop the table. All right, and then we're gonna recreate it, and we're gonna actually check out char and varchar, okay? So they have the same size right here. Okay, it's 10. In fact, I'm gonna circle it 10. All right, I just love using that tool. And away we go, and then let's try to describe it, guys. All right, so same deal, it works. And then we're gonna insert a value to both of the columns. Remember, one is a char 10 or char 10, the other one is a varchar 10. All right, so, and we're gonna be inserting the same values, the same name, John and John, to both of the columns. And then we're gonna do a select right here. Okay. All right, so it accepted both the two. All right, so let's see here. Bugs Bunny says, what's the big deal, Doc? Okay, so really, what's the big deal? Okay, let me explain something. All right, so character versus variable character. So remember the terms fixed length and variable length. Okay. Say for example, we've created this table right here. Okay. Same sizes, 10. The first one is character 10. The next one is variable character 10. Now remember that we inserted these values to the table, John and John, to these columns, name 1 and name 2. This is what happens inside it. So pretty much, since the character is a fixed length, it's actually gonna eat up everything. Even if you just needed 4 characters to begin with, the other 6 characters is also eaten up. It's actually kind of like padded. So you're kind of like wasting, not kinda, you're actually wasting memory. But for the variable character, all you need to do is just, use 4 characters. Saves you 6 bytes. That is the actual difference between character versus variable character. Hope that's clear enough. All right, so if someone asks you what's the difference, this picture explains it all. All right, so there we go. All right, so here's some use cases that you can do. So the character is best used for a fixed length columns. Example, a hashed password. For example, you want to hash this password to MD5 hash. So it's going to give you an exact character length. So it's best to use character at that point. All right, as long as the hash accommodates the size of your chosen hash type of hash. All right, and then for the variable characters, or the varchar, it's best used for variable length columns. For example, names or addresses, because you can't actually predict the actual name's length, right? So, but you can kind of like estimate the actual size, maybe 50 for the first name and kind of like 50 for the last name. So you kind of like give an estimate. All right. And of course, it saves you spaces in your hard drives or your database. So when your database is actually saving the name, so it reduces down to whatever is just necessary. So that's the beauty of the variable character. All right, so that's it for this afternoon, and or rather today. And yeah, please like, share, and subscribe to the Flask channel. And you can also help me out if you wanted to. You can visit my Patreon page. And thank you so much for the fourth subscriber. Okay. All right. Have a nice day.